Hi friends, welcome to another video of Big Tech Talk. In today's video, we will explore Apache Airflow and cover some of its fundamental concepts and walk through creating and executing a DAG. So, without any delay, let's start the video. Apache Airflow is a powerful tool for managing workflow, and understanding the concept of DAG and task is essential for using it effectively. So, what is Airflow? Airflow is an open source project that allows you to define workflow as a code and execute them in a distributed manner. Airflow is designed to help you automate complex data pipeline and workflow, making it easier to manage dependencies and ensure that each task are executed in the correct order. Airflow is built on Python, which means you can use Python code to define your workflow and task. Since its goal is to manage workflow, but what is workflow? So, workflow is a sequence of tasks. Airflow allows you to define workflow as a directed acyclic graph, where each node in the graph represents a task. Let's assume we have a task A, which is followed by task B and task C. And then we have a task D. So DAG says that in no scenario, task A should be executed after task D, as it creates a cycle. So DAG is basically a collection of tasks which we want to run, and these tasks are organized in such a way that reflects their dependencies. So, what is task? A task defines a unit of work within a DAG. So, A is a task, B is a task, C is also a task, and D is also a task. So, we can say task is a node in a DAG which is written in Python to perform some operation using operators. And these tasks have a dependency like task B is downstream of task A, or I can say task A is upstream of task B. So, what is operator? So now we know tasks are the unit of work, but the method it uses is called operators. In Airflow, there are many types of operators like bash operator to execute the bashed command, Python operator calls a Python function, email operator sends an email, HTTP operator makes an HTTP request, SQL execute query operator to execute SQL query, Docker operator to run a Docker container, and Kubernetes pod operator to execute a task in the Kubernetes. So, in simple terms, each task is an implementation of an operator. Now, let's see how we can create a DAG. So, I will open VS Code editor. I will create a file in the DAG folder and I will name it as my first dag.py. To start a DAG, I can write with DAG. DAG has a DAG ID which is unique. So DAG ID equals my first DAG. Now I want to set the description of the DAG. So description equals a simple tutorial DAG. Now if we want to schedule this DAG, so schedule equals 39 asterisk asterisk and asterisk. This is a cron job representation, but for this example I will set it as none. So I should manually execute the DAG. Start date equals to date time 2025 1, 1. Since date time is a Python function, so we have to import it. and then catch-up is false. And all these property belongs to the DAG. So at the end I will write as DAG. So I have defined the DAG, when it should execute, and what is the name and description of the DAG. Now it's time to create a task. So T1 is my first task and I will use bash operator. So task should have a task ID. So I will give the name as first underscore task. And then bash command. You can mention the path of your shell script. For simplicity, I am just going to mention a command as echo hello from the first task. I will create one more task as T2 and I will use the same bash operator. And for the task ID, I will give the name as second underscore task. And then bash command as echo hello from the second task. Now the tasks are created. So I will specify the dependency of the task. So T1 right shift operator T2, which means T2 is dependent on T1. And that's it. We have created our first tag. Now let's start the Airflow by docker compose up -d command. Now let's go to the Airflow web UI. So open your browser and go to localhost 8080. Once you are on this screen, go to DAGs and search for our DAG with the name as my first DAG. And this is our DAG. Click on this icon and then click on the DAG. And we can see our task also over here. Now, if you go to the code tab, you can see our DAG code is here. Since we have scheduled this DAG as none, so we have to manually trigger it. So click on trigger button and the DAG will start the trigger process. Go to run tab and you can see it ran successfully. Click over here and it will take you to the task instance. Now if I click on the first task, you can see the output as hello from the first task. And if I go to second task, you can see the output as hello from the second task. So this is how we can create our Airflow DAG and make it run from the Airflow web UI. So with this, I will wrap up today's video. If you have any question, let me know in the comment section. Do hit the like button and subscribe for more such videos. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video.